Hello everybody, Charjallz here, and welcome to a brand new series. It's called Preikest, and it's a collaboration with me and Miscraft. You can introduce yourself. He's here with me.
Yeah, hi, everyone. As you can see, my beautiful entranceway here for Preikest. I'll say it right now. I'll be all honest and everything. Charjallz is probably one of the worst collaborators out there to do stuff with, and but he was my last resort. So sorry about that. I'll probably have to delete everything and rebuild it. I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
Oh,
oh man, sometimes this gets awkward. So where do I begin? Well, first of all, if you don't even know Miscraft, go check out part 1, because this is part 2, obviously. So he posted part 1 about a week ago, depending on when I post this. So check that out first, and also subscribe to him if you haven't already. I just kind of assume that everybody knows you, but that's not the case, because I don't think I've ever mentioned you on my channel, and I probably should have.
No, you haven't.
Whoops.
Well, I don't think you have, at least. I mean, well, you did in like when I named rides for you and stuff, but
that is true. That is true.
But other than naming rides, yeah.
So yeah, this is Preikest, and I guess it's an alpine-ish theme. As we get more episodes, we plan to do a lot more landscaping and stuff. And I actually did quite a bit in this episode, but we'll talk about that when we get there. As you can see right now, I'm taking forever just to build like an information kiosk little building here in the center. It took me a long time because like I didn't really mess around looking at the scenery, so I just kind of pressed record, and then I was like, where's the scenery? Where do I do
Wait
it?
a minute, I should.
And yeah, most of the scenery I used was in the miscellaneous tab, which is all just kind of random, you know.
Yeah, and I also noticed for some reason I never realized this before, like until recently. I was like, oh wait, if I click on like the scenery groups, I can actually get those tabs up top instead of having everything in the miscellaneous tab and missing some things at the bottom, because you know there's a limit to tabs. So, but yeah,
it's
glad we figured it out.
Like I remember noticing, and this is gonna be kind of hard to explain, but like if you want a certain group and then you only want certain items in that group, you don't want the entire group or something,
right.
And then you take the scenery that you want or something, and then it just goes into the miscellaneous or something, and then it gets rid of the actual group under the scenery. I'm not even sure. It's really kind of weird.
Tycoon 2 was laid out in a weird way with that, and I wish that like I'm hoping one day, like when OpenRCT2 gets developed in a certain way where we can have more objects in one scenario for us to use, because I hate having to go 128 rides, 256 items for this and that and that. And then there are people, that try to bypass that and get scenery groups and put scenery objects and put it in different tabs and stuff, so you could work it there. But then it gets confusing because you already have it in one, but then you see it in the next, which you have a lot of space for. Then it's a lot of work to set up a scenario now. So especially with custom scenery now.
Yeah, it's pretty limited, but I feel like one day they'll raise the limit on that.
And then they hit. Oh,
you want to continue?
Well, just one last thing was then they hit 0.2 recently for our ORCT2 development. Yeah. They did though, didn't they? Yeah. Because I was planning on 1.3 for the longest time. I
don't even know. I just have it on developed, and then it just auto updates for me. I don't really pay attention to what build it is.
I should probably do that, but I pay attention.
Oh, are you unstable?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where you actually have to
manually go back to the website. Yeah, I'll probably go to develop it.
People say it crashes more, but I haven't had a crash in a very long time. Like when you have it undeveloped, but I'm not really sure. It's been working fine for me undeveloped, and almost every single time when I open it, there's an update. It's crazy. Like they have like an update every 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's interesting. But going to the park, I do like your yellow that you're starting to use, adding some color to it.
Yeah. I guess I'm not sure. I think the yellow fit well.
Yeah, I think it does too. I think I might go back and add a little bit of color to my area to kind of compensate for it a little bit. Yeah, because it looks really nice.
And I didn't want to go like too bright either. I think a yellow is I mean, it's a bright color, but it's also kind of dull. It fits the theme.
Right.
What else did I do? When I built a bridge later, I made it like a light green, like a duller green. It's not like bright, like wow, but yeah, I think I kind of used yellow everywhere. I use it for the information kiosk. You can even see I put that scenery that you selected with the tables and the umbrella with the benches. And then
man,
the top spin, and then obviously for the Giga, I think I ended up keeping it yellow at the end, but the supports changed. Now
And
I'm starting the bridge here, using some track.
Yeah, I did like the track texture. I need to start working with the tile inspector stuff as well, because I have not done that before. Yeah, I've not done it before, and I need to do it.
It took me forever. There's so much stuff that I took out of the recording because I kept messing up. There's actually a part where I had to go back to the autosave because I accidentally deleted like the surface. And then
Good job.
And then you can't delete it. Yeah, you really, when you use the tile inspector, you really got to pay attention to what
you save before you use it. Yeah.
Yeah. I eventually got it to work. I used 4 launched free falls, and it's actually so you see the 4 launched free falls. That's actually one ride. I just did copy and paste using the tile inspector. And then you can even see that the Giga Coaster arcs that I used in the bridge are kind of glitching out. I did fix that later.
Okay.
I used the tile inspector to hide the supports originally.
And that's what it's doing.
Yeah, but then later I think it's still glitching out. Later at some point I actually undo that, and then I use the hidden support blocker that you added. Good thing that you added that. Good idea.
Yeah, that was like one of the things I always make sure I have room for is like the black background pieces and support blockers, because you like to do custom supports sometimes, right?
Especially for the wooden coasters, not so much. I haven't messed around too much with like this kind of coaster. I think it would look real nice to have like those diagonal supports, especially at the tall parts.
Right. Like the B&M supports, yeah.
And I'm actually gonna say right now, before I forget, if you want to mess with anything that I built, you may go ahead and do that. I really do not care. So if you wanna, add more detail to my building, if you wanna add the custom supports, foliage, whatnot, you can do whatever you want. I don't really care.
Well, I'm not gonna mess with it too much because like maybe later on we might do a touch-up episode that both of us get to touch up some things that we want to touch up, and I really like that step up you did there for the station.
Yeah, thank you. Like where I kind of raised it up just a little bit.
And that's another thing I like to use the support blockers for, is the scenery pieces that when you raise them, especially, I hate it when there's roof pieces that have press. It's so dumb. And so
yeah, because it makes sense to have supports on a roof piece. Like I even on the landscape pieces that you selected, there's supports. You'll probably see me later try to fix it, and I was like, whatever.
But that's how I get by the stuff. Like I see a scenery piece, I'm like, okay, make sure I have that. But then like I'm one of those people that lazily like chooses stuff where I always make things harder for myself. Like if there's something that I need to do something with, I won't just delete it, get something else that's not as hard to work with. I'll just leave it there, then get something else to get rid of the supports and stuff underneath. I'm very difficult, but
whatever works.
Yep.
But like later, you'll see me make like a tunnel for the Giga Coaster using the landscape pieces, and then there's like supports right over it, and it's like that's kind of ruins the idea of making a tunnel. And I tried to use the hidden support blocker, but it only covered most of it. It still left a little bit of a support at the top, but I think towards the end of the episode you'll see that. If we end up talking for the whole episode, this is like 17 minutes, I think.
Oh, we talked for 15 in mine, didn't we?
For how long? Oh yeah, that is true, and it went by really fast.
Yeah, it did.
So what else do we talk about? The station building here, I kind of went with a black and gray theme while still mixing in a little bit of the yellow. And the entrance and exit for some reason have yellow, and it's weird because I have the station as black, but
yeah, that's what I like. The way I get around that is I like make the main colors of the main scheme of the rides whatever I want for the stations. If I do this abstract theme, I always make the main theme the what I want the station building and the entrance and exit buildings to be, and then I use an alternate paint scheme and go all the way around the roller coaster with it.
Oh, that makes sense. I did not even think about that. So if you want to do that for me,
I'll do it.
Awesome. Otherwise, that's an easy fix. Otherwise, the yellow could work. I'm not sure. Or I could just make my own and use the invisible entrance or whatever. That's always an option. So yeah.
There's always a way around stuff. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of really unique architecture here. How much of this is trial and error? I just want to know.
I went straight through like what you're seeing. Like you barely see me deleting anything. It's literally just straight through.
So was it trial but no error?
Yeah, pretty much. And I think it turned out pretty well. But I usually do trial and error. But it's rare for me to just build it straight through. Like I had zero plan on what I was doing here. So and it ended up being all right. So. Yeah,
I've never seen anything like that flower thing you did there. I never have. That's interesting.
Flower
the thing where you added that small, like the brick roof above those flowers next to the queue line, right there. See, right there.
Yes.
The yellow giga name or whatever it is.
Oh yeah,
I see that. I see that.
At the time, I didn't know what to name this, and I still don't know what. I think I made the joke of calling it Motorboat Madness.
We had a whole conversation about that, guys. Don't worry.
Then we kind of. And I totally forgot about it, but I actually had another name idea. I don't remember. It will probably be the title of this episode. Otherwise, if you guys have a name suggestion for it, that's cool too. I feel like I was gonna call it like Speedboat something, or like. Oh no! Because I don't know. I wanted to name it like with a boat because it's like under a bridge.
Or like you know how like speedboats have wakes in them, you know how like if you're like what is it called, like the water that makes up the V shaped line behind the boats, speedboats.
I'm not sure what
are those called wakes?
I'm not sure what the term is called. I've actually never been on a boat before, believe it or not.
Either have I.
Really? Okay. Good. Yeah, I haven't done fishing or anything.
I think they're called wakes. So like whitewater wake or something. I don't know.
I don't know any terms.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Fishing or I do remember coming up with a name, but I never told you. I was gonna bring it up in this episode and surprise you. I forgot. I was thinking Motorboat Madness, and then I had the word speedboat in my mind. And then I was thinking fish. I feel like it was a fish, but I forgot what it was. Because it's like near the water, so a fish name would be kind of cool.
Well, the first thing I saw wasn't like the first time I saw the yellow in this was I was like Loch Ness Monster, but I was like never mind because what Gears and Gadget, what was it or no
the Europe Park, yeah.
European Park, yeah, that one you had made the Loch Ness Mountains in that huge water.
It was for the Scotland theme or
Scottish. I think. I mean, sorry.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's like where the Loch Ness Monster originated from. It was from Scotland, so I think that's Simfox suggested that, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a beautiful idea and perfect idea. But that would work too, honestly.
Yeah.
But it'll come to me, the name that I had in mind.
I hate using overused names, though. That's my problem.
Yeah,
like,
I'm with you.
And so
it's bugging me that I can't remember the name. It was really good. Oh man. Okay. Now I'm.
But how much of this? Holy crap! We have 4 minutes left.
Wait, how long? 4?
4 minutes left.
Yeah, because I'm actually recording off the YouTube video, so I don't. Actually, I'll just do it. I'll just see what it is. All right, 14 minutes. Okay. So now when people watch the video, they'll see me pull up the time. So you can see that I'm starting to use a lot of that quarter tile landscape pieces. I think you messed around with a little bit of that towards the entrance, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe
I don't think I did. I don't know.
Okay, maybe it was just the water I'm thinking of.
It might. Yeah, I think it was the water. Okay. Yeah.
I'm in love
how much
with the quarter tile.
So how much? How much of this was this though? Like a new kind of palette. You know, was this like something completely different kind of scenery style or like scenery object style that was selected? Was it that different? Because
what do you mean?
Because I chose stuff kind of based on my style, but I was like, you know what? Charjallz might want to do something, so I kind of gave some extra stuff that I think you might have used. So like,
Yeah, I didn't add any additional scenery. I know you said there was room for a little bit more, but
or you could get rid of some stuff. Yeah.
that is true. But yeah, I like the core landscape pieces. I used a little bit of that, and I think the scenery selection that you have is beautiful. You know, it's a variety. A lot of it's custom. I'm trying to play around with more custom scenery now. I've been using heavy vanilla. You know, Gears and Gadgets is like 100% no custom. Or,
And European is almost.
it's almost.
Oh, there's that tone.
Yeah, you can see. This. See, I'm trying to use the support blocker, and it covers most of it, but it leaves that one layer of support. I really want to do tunnel, but I ditched the idea.
I'll look for a piece tonight, an archway tonight, and see if we can get that worked out. So.
And then you can see right now that I'm doing something different, just like a normal block break thing with like a fence on the side and stuff. But yeah, it's dumb. And the quarter tile pieces don't have that problem. It's just those full one tile pieces.
The arcs. Yeah, I don't understand. Well, there's another piece I have as well that's just like an archway. And holy cow, I'm gonna have to add some handymen when I get this park.
No, I do fix that. It might stop, or it might like go away all of a sudden, because I do add. I don't remember if I recorded or not, but I did add like 10 handymen and mechanics and security guards, and then like a couple entertainers and stuff. But yeah, there's vomit everywhere. I didn't even pay attention to that because I'm busy working on this.
Yeah. Well, 1 minute, but yeah, no, less than a minute. Holy cow!
Yeah. Do you see that? I forgot that I recorded that.
All so sudden, man. Oh man.
Yeah, I sped up the video way too fast here at the end because I felt like 17 minutes was too long, and it was originally like 25. And I was like, ooh. But I guess I should have kept it 25 because now I have to wrap up. So, anything else you have to say?
Pretty much it. I don't know if we're gonna have any more of these. We might not. I don't know.
I enjoy it. I wouldn't mind at all doing more joint commentary.
Right. But sometimes music is nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely add music.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright, cool.
Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.